Welcome back to Android Weekly. My name's Jayce, and this week we have to talk about updates. More updates, and after we're done, we can talk about updates again. Why? Because you all are on KitKat crack. I mean, you have so lost perspective on what's really important in life that you even accuse me of being on crack. Let me tell you, I am focused on real life and death issues, okay? Like focused on killing zombies.
The zombies are coming.
Jayce, I'm pregnant!
Okay, have fun! Rumor time. Galaxy S5 may arrive with a 64-bit processor. Now, although it is just a rumor, sources familiar with the matter have spoken to the Korea Herald and suggested that the Galaxy S5 may come with a 64-bit processor, or that could just be a marketing gimmick to get people like me to talk about it. Let's talk KitKat updates. So I know after the last video about why Android updates take so long, many of you were asking how this applies to Nexus devices. Why are KitKat releases taking so long on Nexus devices? Good question. So what we know now is that it is believed from a developer named Alan Sutton that there is a critical bug that relates to encryption and could have left encrypted devices unencryptable if the user entered the wrong password after the update. It appears that Google wanted to fix this serious problem before rolling out the Nexus 4 KitKat update, hence the unusual delay. Some Nexus 4 users are reporting that Android 4.4 KitKat has finally graced their phones, and the Nexus 7 and Nexus 10 were updated last week. Users on Twitter, however, have reported that the update weighs in at about 238 megabytes, and that you will need to have at least 20% battery life, and preferably a Wi-Fi connection. If you prefer to wait for the OTA, be warned that updates of this type come out in waves, and it can take days or even weeks until they reach all devices. Android 4.4 KitKat won't bring the Nexus 4 the new Google Experience launcher, but there is still a lot to look forward to. CyanogenMod teases new hardware partner, and they are just cruel about it too. They said this: lots of rumors circling the net. We're not quite ready to lift the veils, but we can confirm that we have a new hardware partner. But of course, Android Authority can dig a little deeper. A few days ago, Oppo's former vice president Pete Lau resigned, and while he didn't say anything about why he left, Lau posted online that a perfect Android flagship device is in the works, presumably in partnership with CyanogenMod. Let's move on to the new Android camera API. Google is working on a new camera API that will bring new features and possibly improved image quality to Android devices, including the Nexus line. Many reviewers have panned the camera experience on the Nexus 5 as inconsistent and mediocre, with some going so far as to call the product unfinished. Google acknowledged the problems and said that a software update could alleviate some of them. Indeed, code discovered in the publicly available Android source code suggests that a new camera API is in the works that could improve image quality and give access to new features. New Android camera API may bring raw shooting, face detection, and even burst mode. Let's move on to Google Apps updates. Google Drive. According to a Google Plus post from the development team, the biggest update is the addition of Find and Replace, but mobile users will also benefit from the ability to insert tables and use name styles. Other changes involve the ability to rename scanned documents before uploading them, as well as a new two-column layout for viewing docs on tablets. We also spotted a few minor changes to the user interface, which feels sleeker and faster. So let's talk the Google Translate app. This was a lot of fun. I wasted a lot of time playing with this today. I've tried different apps like this before, and this was quite interesting. So of course you can input your language, either audio, like verbally, or texting, and then have that translated. But now it is especially helpful if you're alone in a foreign country because it is gesture sensitive. So I can input my language and hand it over to someone, and the device recognizes that movement and translates it in that process. And then when it's handed over to that other person, it outputs that in either text format or audio format. It's fantastic. Now, in the past when I've used these things, it's been finicky and it was easy to foil. And in the beginning, it made some errors, but then it seemed to adapt to my speech. So I could give it something that was relatively fast and complicated, and unrelated phrases like this. Ich glaube an die Gleichberechtigung zwischen Mann und Frau und ich habe meine Hund verloren.
Equality between men and women, and I lost my girlfriend.
It made some mistakes there. I said, I lost my dog. But It's been otherwise like really, really good. In the beginning, I asked it to translate bitteschön, which means you're welcome. Most people translate it as you're welcome, and instead it translated it as bitch. But it has otherwise been really hard to stump. Fantastic update, really enjoying it. Moving on to Google Wallet. Earlier this week, Google started rolling out a brand new app update for Google Wallet. The update introduces several new features, such as the ability to add credit card and debit cards just by taking a picture of them. According to the changelog, the update brings support for new Google Wallet card and even minor bug fixes and a few unspecified performance improvements. These changes alone would have made Google Wallet update pretty significant, but there's more. For 4.4 KitKat users, the new wallet update brings tap and pay support. Let's move on to Google Newsstand. Recently, it was announced that Google merged Google Currents and Google Magazine. The result is an application called Google Newsstand, which combines the features of both apps into a single interface. Check out our own Joe Hindy's deeper look, linked below. But he says, all in all, it is a mammoth improvement. Check that out. You may have heard about the original Apple versus Samsung legal battle, but that was decreed as a mistrial by Judge Lucy Koh last year, after she found that the jury from the 2012 trial miscalculated the amount of damages that Apple was entitled to. But suffice it to say that unless one of Samsung's appeals succeeds, the result of this retrial is that Samsung will have to pay Apple a grand total of $890 million. And Samsung chose to pay them in pennies. No, I'm just kidding. It was just a silly internet meme. But Samsung will be paying them in $30 used proprietary power cords now worth nothing.